Testing. Hello, I'm Mary Eileen Buss, a librarian here at Long Beach Public Library. And today I'm going to show you how to assemble and paint the birdhouses in the Take and Make Craft kit that we handed out. If you didn't get one of our kits, well, you can still see what we're doing. It's kind of fun. So let me move the camera over so you can see my workspace and we'll get started. So as you can see, I have paper down on my table, newspaper. This is because I don't want to get any paint on this table here. I'm also wearing an apron because I don't want to get any paint on my clothes, and I've rolled my sleeves up for the same reason. So the first thing we need to do is put the kit together. I've already cut this open and we'll take the pieces out, and we need to figure out what we have. This is the front here. Everybody's got it. There's 4 different designs, so you might have a circle here or a heart or a sort of arch. And this is the back. You can see it's got a little hole in it. You can hang it on a nail to display it on a wall. I'm not quite sure how you'd hang it from a tree, but no doubt we could figure this out. And then we've got, these 2 are going to be the sides with the tabs all the way around. And this square one is going to be the base. The different styles might be slightly different sizes and shapes, but the one with 4 slots, 1 in each side, is the base. And then you have 2 roof pieces, one with a slot in the top and one with a tab in the top, so they can fit together when we get to that point. So the first thing we need to do is put the walls all together. So I'm going to take my front piece and decide which side of it I want to be out. It doesn't really look like it really matters. So you take one side piece, and the tabs are supposed to fit right into the top. It looks like you have to give it a little pressure to snap it together. Not too much though, because you don't want to break this flimsy wood. And then you can put the other side piece. Whoops, this is the wrong way around. The tab on one end has to be on the bottom so it can fit into the base. So let me try that again. Make sure you don't make the same mistake I did. And it fits nicely together. And then you take the other bottom piece, side piece, and you make sure the tab is at the bottom. And you fit that in. If you want to be sure they're pretty tight, they should hold, but if you want to be sure, you can put a little glue on. Okay, and now we put the back on. And again, there's no real difference between the back, the sides of it. So we have to put this on all 4 of the tabs, 2 from one side and 2 from the other, and put it securely down. Don't have this one secure yet. Push it down a little better. I can sort of hear it snap into place. Okay. Now we put that on the base and you line it up. Your house is a little bit flexible until you get the bottom on, so you have to make sure it's nice and square, and we'll line up all the way around with all 4 of the tabs. This bit's a little bit tricky. Doesn't quite want to go in, but I'm getting it. Try not to force it too hard because you don't want to break the wood. It's a little tight so it'll stay. And it popped in, and I've sort of got a gap here. Let's see if I can put that together better. So these are more decorative birdhouses than usable ones. If you're going to put them outside, you'll probably want to put some glue on the connections so the birds don't drop right through the bottom when they land to feed their babies. That would be bad. Okay, I'm making sure I've got it snapped together all the way around. And then, remember I said there's 2 top pieces, one that's got a tab and one that has a slot. you need to put the one with the tab on first. I don't think it matters which side of the roof it goes on. So I'm going to put it over here, and I'm going to attach these slots to the two tabs on this side. And just carefully snap that in. I heard that snap. And then this one goes on top, and all three slots just go on. Put the one with the slot on first, you'd be trying to stick the tab up into the slot. Well, get it lined up right the other way. That just wouldn't work right. So you have to put the tab half of the roof on first. And this one doesn't want to pop in. I'm going to see if it works better the other way around. I don't know whether it's just stubborn or whether I didn't put everything else together right. Because you can see, if you don't have it pushed together right, the directions are going to be, the dimensions are going to be wrong. Let's see if I can get this popped in. I could hear that pop, and this one's not quite all the way together. You can see there's a gap there. So let's see if I can pop that in a little better. There we go. So now I've got a nice sturdy birdhouse. And the next thing we do, if you're going to glue it, you need to glue it. But the next thing we do, once you get it all together, let me get this popped in better. The next thing you do is you paint it. You can paint it however you want. Some people like to do a solid, one color on the roof and another on the sides, like a house. You can do swirly designs. You can do sort of a marble effect. You can paint birds all over it. I'm going to try to do vines and flowers. I think that would be pretty. So let me pull the rest of this forward a little bit. I'll put this sort of aside. So for the painting, you're going to want some water and paper towels or paper napkins to wash off your brush, clean your brush in between colors. Now, if you've got the kit, we gave you little cups with the paint colors, because that's much easier to transport. But I've got these bottles, and I'm just going to pour a little bit of paint on this foam plate I've got here. There we go. That opens the bottle. Never used this one. So I'm going to start with the green for the lines. Now our kit, we only gave you one brush, so I'm doing the same thing. Just one brush and swap them out. So I'm going to sign a curly climbing vine up. Nice line. I'll put it all the way down to the ground. And then I'm going to put some leaves on that. I'm not a very good painter, so don't feel bad if you aren't either. Let's see. We need a leaf in here and one over here, I think, to balance that. I think that's Jack and the Beanstalky, maybe. So I'm going to put a balancing vine on the other side. I'm going to start this at the bottom and end it right up there at the hole. And give it a few leaves. And then I'm going to pick up on the other side of the hole over here and go up that way. And give it a few more leaves. Okay. And then I'm just going to do all of the vines first, so I don't have to change color too often. That one needs to go right up to there under the roof. Fill in the middle a little bit. If I had a thinner brush, I'd do thinner vines, but I don't, so I won't. You do what you can with the materials you have. Now, somebody botanically minded or gardener might be able to tell me what kind of vine I'm doing here. Or maybe not. Maybe it's just your sort of generic twining vine. And I'm going to continue this one up the peak of the roof because I think that looks good. And I'll put a nice leaf here. And one over here. And a nice big blobby one right up at the top. I think I need one there too. Okay. And let's have one grow from the back. And I'm going to make this one grow out over the side. And I'll continue it on the side when I get there. And maybe this one can branch up from here. Instead of just being a single vine, it can go both ways. That should look nice. Leaf on this side. Just come over a little more firmly around that leaf a little. And don't worry, I haven't forgotten the flowers. I'll get to those. And then this one can come up and twine across the roof a little. That should look good. One in there. These sort of ridges where the pieces meet are a little bit awkward maybe, but you know, work around them the best you can. And can you see what I'm doing here? I'm doing another leaf. And one more kind of at the top. And then I think I need a little one up here on this side. And continue that up to the edge of the roof. And over here. Okay, so we've got vines all the way around. And I'm going to clean off my brush. I put too much green paint out. My brush, I'm going to put it, moving it back and forth in the water a lot, and then clean it off here. Let me put the water over on this side so you can see what I'm doing. I'm just back and forth, swishing it, tap it, and then wiping it off good in here. When I'm finished, I'm going to take this over and run it under the tap for a while and sort of smoosh it over so it gets in good. We're using acrylic paint here, and acrylic will wash out pretty well if you get to it right away. So if you do wind up with a little bit on your clothes, don't panic, you can wash it out. So I've got, I guess this is navy blue here. You should have a lighter blue in your kit. And I'm just going to put a little bit out, and I'll make a few flowers. I'm not going to attach them to the vines or anything. I'm just going to paint some flowers on. Remember I said I'm not a very good painter? You're probably better than I am. I'm going to try to give it a stem or anything like that. It's more like a starfish than a flower to me. Maybe if I just sort of dab the paint down, it'd work better. Yeah, it kind of does give that. You're right, it works better. Okay, so I'll have to remember that. And I'll put a little dabby one here. I want an odd number of petals on your flower, that much I know. I could put something on the bottom too, but I'm not gonna. That one needs a couple more petals or it's not full enough. And that's the wrong number. Well, not the best flower, but I didn't claim to be a good painter, remember? So I'm going to clean my brush out thoroughly again. other napkin has kind of had it. So we'll go with this one again. And then, oops, pull the head right off this cheap brush. It happens. Okay, and what shall I use next? I think red will be pretty. This is a nice bright red. Squeeze a little bit out. You don't need very much for this. If you're doing a solid color, of course, you need a lot. So I'll put a little red flower right here. Yeah, my flowers aren't very good. Let's try a bigger one again. Well, I've done worse. I've seen worse. I don't have any flowers on the front of this yet. Let me put a little one right here. There's too many vines on here to do a big one. And what else do you think? A little one right here. Got a couple more colors I can use, so I don't have to completely use it all right now. And I think that's 6 petals, so that's wrong. Let's see. The more I try to fix it, the more I mess up. It's the way it works sometimes. And I'm going to skip putting one on the back, which means I'm done with the red. If you look closely at this brush, well, I think I got the last of the red off of it. Sort of green tinged from before, because this is not the first time I've used this brush. And I didn't get quite everything else. And I'm going to use a little bit of yellow. I think yellow will be pretty. And a nice big flower here. You can hardly see the yellow. It doesn't show up right. I'm going to have to use a lot of this paint to get the yellows. It's too close to the color of the background. There we go. And another little yellow blobby thing over here. And something right up on the peak of this, I think we need a little yellow blobby flower. There we go. And I'll put one on the front. Put this one right in here. Little yellow blobby flower. That's almost more of a butterfly. Another little yellow blobby flower up over here. Hardly see the shape on that one. Now I'm careful to hold it by all the edges because I'm not painting those and I don't want to get my fingers in the wet paint. That's for a couple of reasons. One is that I don't want to mess my fingers up, and two, I don't want to smear the paint. Okay, now I have a pink over here that I'm going to use. Oh, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to see if I can get a good purple by mixing the blue and the red I've got over here. And if that works, maybe I'll try making an orange by mixing the yellow and the red. I'll have to see. Okay, so if I pull these two together and sort of mix them around, does it come out to be purple enough? Kind of. It's fairly dark purple because this is navy blue. Mix in a little more red. Well, it's a kind of muddy purple. But we'll see. Might make a decent flower. Put one, let's see, I need a little dab of something there. Oh yeah, that's purple. See that? Remember your color theory from when you were a kid. If you had art classes when you were a kid, I don't think that side needs any more flowers. I'll put a little dab of purple right up here. There we go. And purple right here. Really messy flowers. And I've already got purple in there. I want some purple on this side though, right here. Kind of on the edge. Oops. And I think that's done. Now this needs to dry for a while. If you're going to hang it outside, you'll want to put a layer coat of a clear sealant over it. Mod Podge makes an outdoor. It's the stuff we used on the painted rocks, if you did that. Or there's various other kinds of sealants. If you go into, say, Michael's or look on their website, there's a bunch of different ones. Just make sure you get one that says it's for an outdoor use. And finish off. Okay, so the Zoom class for this Zoom session where we paint together is going to be March 13th. That's a Saturday at 2 o'clock. So if you're watching this before that, you can join us on Zoom. I think I need to do something about this flower here. This flower bothers me. If you're watching it after that, well, if you got a kit, this is the instructions for how you do it. If you didn't get a kit and you're just curious, the birdhouses came off Amazon. There's several different styles. You can also get them other places. You may be able to get them from Michael's or other craft stores. Yeah, that's better on that flower. Now it kind of looks like a hibiscus or something. And if you missed this craft class on our website, I hope you'll join us for more in the future. We've been having one every month on a Saturday, usually about the second Saturday of the month, but it varies. So look at our upcoming events calendar on our website, which is longbeachlibrary.org. That's for Long Beach, New York. If you're in California, I'm sorry, we're kind of far for a commute, but you're still welcome to come watch, even if you can't get a kit because you're living in a different state. So, thank you for watching, and that's all for today.